Hey everyone, I wanted to do a quick video to show you how to use AI as a tool for helping you come up with your course outline and lesson plan. And before I actually start sharing my screen and showing you what to do, I do want to mention that AI is a tool. You can sort of think of it as a virtual assistant that will help you come up with your content, but I don't want you to use it as the actual content writer. So you can get it to create a first draft or a rough draft or an outline, but if you really want to connect with your target audience, then you do need to put some human input in there. And just that's just my opinion on it. I use AI all the time to help me create content, but I'm using it as a guide, as a tool. Um, Not really a guide. I'm the guide, but I'm using it to help me speed up the creation process. All right, so let me switch over and share my screen. There we go. Okay. So I'm using Chat GPT and I'm using version 4 right now, which does require a paid account, but it's $20 a month. It's not a whole lot. And if you end up using it quite a bit, it's probably worth it, but you don't have to pay for it. If you are using it on a regular basis, if you want to have that sort of high availability, then you probably will want to get a paid account, but you could use GPT 3.5. And to get to Chat GPT, you would go to chat.openai.com. Now, one thing I do want to note about Chat GPT Plus is you have the ability to add plugins. And you can see I've got 3 plugins right here. If you wanted to, you could click on this little arrow to add more. But right now I've got Smart Slides, Whimsical Diagrams, and Make a Sheet installed. And they have a plugin store with lots and lots of plugins. So if I click on all here, then it's going to show me all the plugins that are available. And there are 119 pages worth of plugins. So there are quite a few. They do all kinds of things. One of the big things they do is give you access to the internet, so it can do real time searches and get information from the internet to add. And actually, I'm going to turn that on real quick. So I'm going to turn on. Oh, it's already. Oh no, wait. Okay, nope. Let me turn off Smart Slides. I don't. Well, no. I'll turn Smart Slides on and turn Whimsical Diagrams off, so I can turn on my web search. Okay, so I've got my Smart Slides because I might have it make me a slideshow for my course. And again, it's just going to be my rough draft. And then I can also have it create a Google Sheet. It's actually going to create a CSV that you can turn into a Google Sheet. So it doesn't create the Google Sheet directly. And then it's also going to have access to the internet. All right. And by the way, I am streaming this using using StreamYard. That's why I'm looking over here. But if you have a question and you're watching this in real time, you are welcome to ask it. And I should see it over there in StreamYard. And I will try to answer your question if you have one. So ask away. All right. So GPT-4. The one of the best things to do when you're working with AI, at least with a Chat GPT sort of AI, is get it to tell you what it needs to help you. So ask it questions that are going to basically lead to answering Chat GPT to give you the information that you want. So, for example, I want to create a course, and by the way, you do still need to be a content expert to create a course. You can't just get GPT to create the course for you without you knowing at least a little bit about, well, more than a little bit about the course, because or about the course content, because GPT isn't, and you can see down here, it may produce inaccurate information, uh, including about facts. So it's not always reliable. That means that you need to know what it's talking about. You need to know if the information that it's giving you is accurate. And I've had it give me inaccurate information many times before, and I've corrected it, and it says thank you, and then it gives me the corrected output. But just keep that in mind as you're creating your course outline. Don't just take everything that it says without a grain of salt there. Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do, I want to create a course outline first, and then I'll create a lesson plan after that. So for the course outline, I'm going to say I am and I'm going to do it on something that I know. So if I know, so that way I know if it's giving me accurate input or not. So I am creating a course about search engine optimization. Specifically, I want to focus on keyword research. What information do you need from me to create an outline for the course? All right, so I'm going to ask it, what do you need from me? What information do you need to help me create this course outline? All right, so it tells me it needs to know who the target audience is, which if you're creating a course outline, you need to know that. How long the course is going to be, the format that it's going to be, the key takeaways, any specific tools, your unique angle, and then the budget and resources. Okay, so you can go through and answer it. What I usually do is just kind of put a dump in there of all of the answers. So I'll say one, the target audience is small business owners with little tech experience and no SEO experience. They are absolute beginners and feel a little overwhelmed about SEO. So not going to go too in depth with that. You could get more in depth, but that's enough for now. And then 2, the course length. I'm going to do a quick start or a crash course. So the course length will be, I'm going to say 30 minutes. And okay, the course format will be a live stream video. There won't be any, can't type today, exercises during the course, but there will be some homework for students to do when they finish. And by the way, instead of pressing enter between each line, I'm pressing shift enter. That just adds a new line. Okay, so number 4, key takeaways. Students should know at least 2 free tools they can use to do keyword research, plus 1 paid tool they can try for free. They should also know how to figure out what their audience is looking for. Actually, let me rephrase that. They should also know why keyword research is important. And what the difference is between organic and PPC, pay-per-click. And then 5, any specific tools. I'll use Google Keyword Planner, or let me say tools. Google Keyword Planner. I'll use SEMrush. And you pick the 3rd one. And then unique angle. The course should be super easy for absolute beginners to get a quick win when they do the homework. And 7, any limitations on resources? 7. I don't have a budget for this course. And my target audience probably doesn't either. All right, let's see what it gives me. All right. So 30-minute live stream. Welcome and brief overview. And by the way, I've learned ChatGPT's idea of time isn't always what a human would be able to do in that time. So use those time estimates with a huge chunk of salt. So it's, yeah, I've seen when it gives me outlines in the past, it's been interesting. All right, so let me scroll back up here. So introduction, welcome and brief overview, importance of SEO and keyword research for small businesses. All right, and then it's going to say, what is SEO? So it's covering the definition of SEO, search engine optimization, and then talk about the difference between organic and pay-per-click, which is good. That's what I wanted. Next up, why keyword research matters. So the role of keywords in SEO, real world examples of how keywords can boost business. That's pretty good. And then we've got free tools for keyword research. I'd probably go a little bit more in depth. I'm actually going to ask it to combine section 3 and 4 into a single tools for keyword research. So, and you can get it to do that. And then section 5, quick wins with keyword research, simple steps for immediate results, and then homework, practical exercise for quick wins. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 things. So you can get it to refine the output, and I'm usually very nice to it. So I'm going to say it looks good so far. Can you please combine sections 3 and 4 into a single section titled Tools for Keyword Research, and replace Ahrefs with Answer the Public, which is another tool. If you haven't done SEO, it's another tool that you can use for keyword research. So I'm going to hit enter and see what it does. All right. So we've got our same sections that we had before for section introduction 1 and 2, and then we've got section 3, section 4. Okay. That looks better. All right, so that's pretty good. So now I'm going to ask it. So it says homework, practical exercise for quick wins. What do you suggest for the practical exercise for quick wins in section 4? See what it says. And the timing on this one actually looks reasonably good. Let me scroll up here a little bit. I think 10 minutes for these 3 might not be quite enough time, but it should be pretty close. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so practical exercise. So it's actually giving me the practical exercise. It's giving me, there's my objective, my steps, pick a product or service. Okay, this is pretty good. Okay. Okay, this actually looks really good. All right. So I'm going to tell it, this looks great so far. Can you please turn the outline for the, what did I call it? Did I call it a workshop? I'm going to copy that. The course outline for keyword research for small business owners into a lesson plan. So it should go a little bit more in depth. So it's going to give me a detailed lesson plan for the outline. I like the outline. It's looking pretty good. So it's going to give me a little bit more information. And it's giving me suggestions for visual aids. All right. So role of keywords in SEO, how to access it. Okay. This is looking pretty good. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to ask it to go. Now, this can be tricky. Getting ChatGPT sometimes to go in depth on things requires asking questions about the topic. So I'm going to start at the top. And let's see. So it's going to say, briefly explain what SEO and keyword research are. Well, actually, let me do this. I'm going to do this. Can you add more details to the lesson plan and go into specifics? Actually, let me do this. Can you add more details to the lesson plan and go into specifics? Create a script for the content where possible. Detailed script. See, it's a game changer. Even ChatGPT thinks so. All right. And don't use the script as is. Please don't do it. But it'll give you a good starting point. So this is a good place to get this information. And if you need to go more in depth, and just I want to just show you something real quick. So it says here, section 1, what is SEO? 3 minutes. So it's thinking it's going to take you 3 minutes to say that. That's what I was saying. The time on it isn't always accurate. So just keep that in mind. All right. So why keyword research matters. Okay. This is looking pretty good. Okay. And we already have the homework. I did a pretty good job of that. I've got it further up in the chat, so I can just copy that. And one of the things that I like to do is copy the content. So you can see here, if I scroll up, there's a little clipboard, so you can copy the content and put it into a Google document or Microsoft Word, whatever text editor you're using. And that's what I usually do. I put it in there and then I edit what I need to. All right, so that looks better. I need to fill in some more details. All right, so I'm going to ask it for some more details starting from the top. So the introduction, I'm going to say during the introduction, I need to introduce myself and say why I'm qualified to teach this course. Can you add that lesson plan? And let me go back down here. It tells me it makes up some qualifications here. I mean, honestly, it's not making this up because so I've done some customization on ChatGPT, so it knows who I am. So it knows that I've been doing web development since 1995. It could go into a little bit more detail. It is a setting that you can do in ChatGPT for it to remember between chats, and you can also customize it with some baseline information. So that's something that I've already done. Okay, so it gave me a little bit more depth in there. Okay, so that's good. And then let me go back up. And so I'm going to go into section 2, why keyword research matters. And so I need to convince the audience of the importance of keyword research. So it says, let's talk about why keyword research is a big deal. Imagine you sell handmade soap. If people search for organic handmade soap and your website shows up, that's a win, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm not gonna, I almost typed so. Regarding keyword research. All right, so why is it important to pick the right keywords? And how do I know that I've picked the right keywords when doing my research? And of course, if you know the answer to this, you can type it in yourself. But the whole point of this video is we're trying to use ChatGPT. There we go. So you can see it goes in much more detail there. Oh no, network error. Did I lose Wi-Fi? No, okay. It's going to regenerate. Sometimes my Wi-Fi gets a little wonky there. So if you ask it questions to sort of give you more detail on each of the sections, one of the things it should do, one of the things it usually does, at least when I've worked with it, it'll ask me, do you want to add that to your script or your lesson plan or whatever it is that you're working on, as long as it's relevant to what you're working on. So let me see if it says that. Okay, it didn't do that. So I'm going to say, can you please integrate that information into my lesson plan? So I have to ask it. It didn't ask me. There we go. So now let's see if it adds that to my lesson plan. And by the way, you can use this tool after you've created this lesson plan. You can then get it to create a video script. You can get it to create, oh, I'll keep getting this network error. Let me try this again. You can get it to create the social media posts for you off of this. You can get it to create a podcast script, blog posts, and you can really break the content down into a bunch of different pieces of content. So just something to be aware of. All right, so let's see if it adds. Oh, good. Okay. Oh, it didn't really go in depth enough. So you might have to play around a little bit more with that. All right. All right. So let me go up here. Why picking the right keywords is important and how to know you've picked the right keywords. That's not exactly what I wanted. Please add all of the details you shared about picking the right keywords and knowing they're the right keywords into the lesson plan. So sometimes you have to ask it a few different times, a few different ways for it to understand what it is that you want. And you can see it, apologies. Let me make it more comprehensive. So let's see if it does that this time. Let's see. And I would probably go in and ask for a little bit more information about the difference between organic and PPC. Let's see, why is keywords? So how do you know you pick the right keywords? Okay, good. Okay, now it's adding the information about user intent, which is great. Didn't go in as much depth as I wanted it to. So I'd have to keep asking it. It's like asking a toddler to do something. You have to give sometimes very detailed instructions, and you have to ask it a few different times, a few different ways. Okay, so isn't quite enough information in section 2. Please add the info you shared about, let's see, what did it share before? About search volume, relevance, okay, so I'm going to ask it for the information that it shared about those other topics. Let's see what it gives me. So it's got to spit everything back out. And you might note one thing that it'll do from time to time. It won't output the entire thing. So if you say update section 2, it'll just update section 2 and then spit section 2 back out. So if you wanted to get the entire script or lesson plan or whatever it is that you're working on, then you might need to get it. You might need to tell it to take everything, combine it together. Okay, this is better. So relevance, traffic, competition, user intent. Okay, that's a little bit better. It's I would probably still want some more detail, but it's a good start. So this is good for now. You can take this information, plug it into your Google Doc or whatever it is that you're using, and create some more notes for this. All right. And now I'm going to say, can you create a slideshow for the presentation? And I do have a plugin installed. If you remember, I installed Smart Slides with this. So it should generate a slideshow for me that I can then edit. I can't remember if the Smart Slides creates a PowerPoint, but we'll see. So I can't remember. I haven't really used Smart Slides. I installed it to play around with it, and then I never got a chance to play around with it. I use Canva for my slides usually, and not PowerPoint. So I don't know if it creates that. And by the way, the plugin, sometimes it takes a while to generate. You can see it's printing out all of this, and it's taking everything that I put in there. That's pretty good. Actually, the slides look pretty good. Okay, so here is my slideshow. Let me click on it to download it. And it does look like it's giving me a PowerPoint. Let me see. Yep, it created a PPT. So let me try opening that so we can take a look at it. Taking a second here. All right, so we'll see. Okay, yep, this is pretty good. Give me bullet points for everything. All right, yep, this is not bad. So I like it. And the slide here gives you some more information about using using Smart Slides, and it gives you some prompt examples, which is nice. So you can see here, make me a 5-slide tourist presentation about Norway. So, all right, so back to GPT. All right, so this is really helpful. Am I on Facebook? Yes, I'm on Facebook, or should be. I can see the chat. If you are watching one of the live streams, I can see it in StreamYard. So I'm not actually in Facebook, but I can see when you chat. Okay. So anyway, I like to thank ChatGPT every time it does something for me, just in case, you never know. So I'll tell it it's really helpful. Now can you help me create some social media posts to get people to sign up for this workshop? All right, so let's see. And it'll give me some social media post ideas. There we go. Some tweets. Oh, it doesn't call it X. It still calls it Twitter. I'll probably always call it Twitter. Instagram. Sometimes the social media posts that it gives you aren't really great. So that's okay. Thanks. Please update the social. Actually, can you give me a list of 10 catchy names that will appeal to my target audience that I can use for this workshop? I'm going to get it to help me name this workshop. I want to get a catchy name. Oops, let me scroll down some here. SEO simplified. All right. These look pretty good. Okay, let me see. Which one do I like? SEO simplified. Actually, I kind of like number one. Let's see. So I'm going to ask it to update those social media posts to use the title that it helped me come up with. There we go. It also gives me, you can see here, some ideas for the images. There's my tweets. At any time it says infographic, it just assumes that you can make an infographic. You can ask it for some help with making that, at least what text you want to add to the infographic. All right. I see somebody just said got here. So I can't see, unless you give permission to StreamYard, I can't see who is chatting in Facebook. So I just see Facebook user. So whoever just got here, hello. All right. So we've got that. Okay. This is great. This is helpful. And then so I'm asking it for some ideas for short form videos that I can create to attract my audience for this workshop. Although my personal target audience is really more on LinkedIn and Facebook. They might be on Instagram and TikTok. I've never really, for what I do, I don't really go on Instagram and TikTok for the web development as much. But I am working on Instagram and TikTok for my STEAM education program. So the target audience for that, a little bit more on there. So I'm starting to do more TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so TikTok ideas, debunk common myths, show how to find a keyword using Google Keyword Planner in under 60 seconds. I could do that. Use props. What props would you use? I'm going to ask it, what props would I use to explain the difference between SEO and pay-per-click? Okay. What props would I use to show the difference between SEO and PPC? Because I would really like to know what props. Let's see what it says. Organic fruit, vegetable. No, those are bad. Okay. Yeah, those aren't really very good. It's trying to be creative, but it's not really helping there. Okay. Planting the seed, it takes time to grow. So SEO is like planting the seed, pay per click is like an auction. Okay, I could see that. Yeah. But yeah, I guess that's okay. But that's a little cheesy. All right. So you can keep asking it questions on this topic. And another thing that I've used it for is to help me create workbooks and lead magnets. So, and let me actually ask it while we're in here. So I've created an outline here. I got my outline, my basic outline, and my lesson plan. I've created slides for my 30-minute presentation. And I've gotten some ideas for social media that I could use related to the workshop. So I'm going to say thanks. Can you please give me 10 ideas for lead magnets that will attract my target audience to this workshop? All right, let's see. All right, so SEO checklist, keyword research template, that's good. Top 10 SEO mistakes to avoid. Quick SEO wins ebook. SEO glossary, local SEO guide. SEO case study. Case studies are good. Video tutorial, that's kind of what I'm doing for this 30-minute workshop. SEO audit worksheet. And monthly SEO planner. So since this workshop's about keyword research, I think I want to kind of stick with that. So I'm going to ask it to help me create the keyword research template. All right. And since I do have the plugin to generate CSVs, so you can see it's going to generate the CSV for me. I've got that Make a Sheet plugin installed, so it's actually going to create that CSV for me, which is nice. All right, so keyword research template is ready to go. So keyword, search volume, competition level. Okay, so it's giving me those. Can you create some instructions for using the template? So it created the CSV, and I'm actually going to open it real quick so you can see it. Oh, sometimes that doesn't work. Let's see. Nope, didn't like that. Let me get it to regenerate. Sometimes it doesn't quite generate it correctly. No, let me get it to regenerate. Okay. I'll let it finish generating. CSV plugin, it is a Chat GPT plugin. So somebody's asking what CSV plugin. It is a Chat GPT plugin. You do need to use Chat GPT Plus to use it. So GPT-4, it works with GPT-4. And you can add plugins. If you go to the beginning of the video, you'll see it. It's this Make Sheets. I think it's called Make Sheets plugin, which is this one right here. I think it's called Make Sheets. Make a Sheet. Make a Sheet. All right, so let me go back. So I've got the instructions there, and I can copy this, put it into the download page. So again, just remember that little clipboard there. So I can put it into the download page, or I can create another page in the sheet to do that. But I am going to go back and say the CSV didn't work. Can you please regenerate it? So let me ask it to regenerate. So it's going to try recreating that. Let me hide that. So let's see if it does it this time. Okay, let's see if it does it this time. There we go. Okay. And it's going to open up in numbers because I'm on my Mac. All right, so it's going to give me this. So I can save this as a Google Sheet and make it so that when I send the email out, so if it's a lead magnet, I could send the email out and the email could have the instructions in it that it printed out for me. I'd probably simplify them a little bit. But I could put the instructions in the email and then upload the CSV to Google Sheets and then make the share link so that they could copy it. Does everybody know how to get that to work? Let me actually open up. Let me show you. Go into the right Google account. All right, so I'm going to make a new sheet. And I'm going to import that CSV that I just downloaded. There we go. And then you can format it nicely. So I'd probably do that. Actually, let me give it a good name. So what did we call it? Keyword research template. And I would actually call it a keyword research tracker. I'm going to call it that instead. All right. So we've got, I'm going to track, I don't like tracking too many keywords. I'm going to track 50 keywords. So I'm going to format it. So it's nice, looks nice. Okay, that looks good. Make that bold. And expand these a little bit. Make my notes column a little wider. Make it so they wrap. Make that a little wider too. Okay, and then you need to make it shareable. So you need to make it so anyone with the link can share or can view it. And then you'll copy the link. And then when you share it, you can see this right here. I just pasted it into the browser. Where it says edit at the end, you'll change that to copy. So now when you share it, whoever gets it is going to be prompted to make a copy of it. They're not going to be, they're not going to get the view and then have to ask you to share or ask you for editing permission. So just change that word edit to copy and it'll make it so that whoever goes to that link is going to be prompted to make a copy of it. All right. So as you've seen, I went and I did my course outline. I made a lesson plan. I could recreate, I could create additional content based on that outline, that lesson plan. I could create video script. I could create a more in-depth course. So if I was doing a 30-minute course, if you wanted to go more in depth, you could. Remember, this course is really just about keyword research. It doesn't cover anything else, just keyword research. But you could create a much more in-depth course. I've had it help me create outlines for multi-week courses before. And just to give you a little bit of insight into course creation, I've got a course planner template. And this is actually from when I was working on my master's in instructional design. So yes, I'm not just a course. Well, I am an instructional designer. I'm working on a master's in instructional design. It's actually learning design and technology. And this course planner is something that when I've had to create courses for clients and for my courses that I'm taking, this is one of the templates that I use. So I create got to do an executive summary. Who's the target audience? What is learning gap? Learning gap is what do students already know about the subject? What will they know upon completion of the course? And then the difference between the two, as you can see right here, is the learning gap. So if you really wanted to go in more detail and really get into the underlying learning principles and learning theories behind the course, and you wanted to get more in depth in that, a lot of course designers don't get into that. But if you're coming at it from an instructional design perspective, you might be a little bit more inclined to do that. I didn't really go into that in my queries or my prompts with ChatGPT, but that is something, if that's something that you really want to do, if you want to really make it so that your students are getting the objectives, they're learning what you need them to learn. And another thing that is part of this course planner is, what is the evaluation plan? How are you going to evaluate the effectiveness of the course? One of the things that I've done with courses that I've developed in the past is have a practical test. So I will have students, for example, I did a course on doing website updates, WordPress website updates. That was part of one of the classes that I took. I had to develop a course that had measurable evaluation, and they had to take quizzes after each lesson to show that they understood the content, and then they had practical tests that they had to do to show that they could update their website. So it's pretty easy to either update it or not. But so anyway, that's something that you could add to your lesson plan if you wanted to. So, all right, off my soapbox now. All right, so as you saw, there is a lot that you can do. And by the way, you could take this course planner that I've got here, and you can kind of plug that in to ChatGPT and have it spit the plan back out in this format. So you could say something like, I need to create a course plan for this workshop. The plan should have the following sections: executive summary. Can't remember what all the sections are. Executive summary, target audience, learning gap, terminal learning objective, what else did it have? Enabling objectives, course outline. And I'm going to skip the development tools because it won't know that, but I am going to add evaluation plan. Okay, so let me see if it'll do this for me. And it does. So it takes all the stuff that I've already developed and all the information that I've already given it, and it's going to create this course plan for me. There we go. So this is pretty good. So it even gives me some ideas for evaluation. And that looks great. Okay, so I'm just saying thank you to ChatGPT once again. So it really helped me with my assignment. This wasn't really my assignment. I wouldn't do this for my master's program. When I first started my master's program, ChatGPT wasn't widely available, but I've never used it to actually create a course outline or a course plan for any of my classes before. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, so if you are getting started with planning your courses and you want to use ChatGPT, use it as a tool, use it as a good way to brainstorm the ideas and help you sort of refine your ideas. and then take that information. So I would probably go again and copy this and make a new document and plop that right in there. And then edit it however you need to. But so yeah, so this is use it as a tool, use it for brainstorming and refining your ideas. Use it as if you're working independently, it's a really good way to sort of run your ideas through somebody else. It's not really somebody else, but anyway. So I do hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions, ask them wherever you are watching this. I'm streaming it to a couple of places on Facebook and on YouTube. So feel free to ask on those, and I should be able to see the questions or the questions on there. I'll try to answer in there. If you aren't already in my website Success Lounge Facebook group, if you aren't watching it in there, make sure you join it. I'm trying to do more lives like this, like once a week. So join the group and check it out. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.